This is a presentation from EQTY Labs CEO, co-founder Jonathan Doughton, giving a demonstration of this AI data integrity suite. And at a high level, EQTY Lab is a company. What I'll do is quickly, I'll just load up their website here for folks watching this. This is about AI integrity. They're leveraging Hedera. They're offering this product called AI Integrity Fabric. They've got what's called a lineage explorer. So they're going to be able to, look back on the actions of an AI. They've got a governance studio. They've got an attribution ledger. They've got all these different things. So what I want to do is, this is like a 5-minute video. I want to play it for you guys because I was trying to figure out, I was taking notes on this. I was reading through the different press releases and I was like, there's no way I can explain it better than kind of the presentation that Jonathan gives. So I'll just play this. And this is honestly something that's so exciting for me. And I think hits right at the heart of what Hedera is about and the goals of the ecosystem. So let me make sure my audio is set up properly and we'll watch this together.
A very quick introduction about EQTY Lab, which is that we work to establish many of the things that were talked about in this panel. And what we want to do is to integrate machine and human processes together to understand how AI is created and then ensure that as we learn these things, they can be immutably reported. We do that by essentially following the principles around establishing things like observability, accountability, usability. These are the types of things that you would really expect that as you use AI systems, you would have easy access to. That we get through something I won't have time to discuss, unfortunately, but through an AI fabric. And I want to simplify it for everyone here, is that essentially what it's doing is it's saying, as we talked about today, the importance of data for AI, is it's creating a new type of primitive from data, which is a form of integrity. It's a marker. And what's interesting about it is that you can determine the integrity of the data without actually seeing the data. Because once you have that marker, it's persistent. It carries.
And that's a key thing here, is that's what this is all about, is a big theme in, Hedera and Web3 is like, this isn't a zero knowledge proof, but that's kind of what this is about, is can you verify something happens without actually seeing the thing? And when it comes to AI, that's massive.
Carries forward. Think of it a little bit like a fingerprint. You don't have to have the human in order to detect that the person has been there, right? That gets put into the AI fabric, and we use actually a variety of different cryptographic primitives, which can include things like, if my slides will load, 1 second.
His slides keep messing up.
Things like ledgers, which we're talking about here today, but they also include things like credentials, which in your browser that you have, and that's how you know that, for instance, you're talking to your bank securely, or even at the hardware level. And that type of observability allows us to establish something like lineage, which is what we all talk about, or provenance, the fancier word. Okay, that's the theory. You've heard about this, and the panel did such a great job at explaining it. I now want to, if my slides will go, sorry, there's always something.
Just a note, if you're presenting, don't mention your slides aren't working.
We talked about provenance. Let's show it to you for real. This is a model that we developed for COP28. It's a climate AI model that my friend Daniel Erasmus in the back was instrumental in helping create. It took 300 billion tokens that were basically high precision tokens around climate, and we trained a 7 billion parameter model. And what you can see here was the instruction fine tuning that we gave to basically optimize the model. And in this case,
that's a big model. This isn't like a tiny AI model. Like that many parameters is a big model.
Fine tuned it to be basically smarter about climate. And what you can see here is that we have a variety of ways of establishing essentially all the inputs into this. And over on the right-hand side, a series of cryptographic registrations that prove immutably, hey, this is exactly what happened and we can prove that. So these types of...
And that's the key piece here, is what he said there is really important. And for those not watching, like, go watch the video episode of this on YouTube after, because I'm kind of displaying it. But basically, what we're looking at is like a map of all these decision trees that have happened through the AI. So how powerful is that, being able to go, okay, the AI spat this out, how did it get there? Actually being able to see that.
Types of things are now getting instrumented into verification tools, and it gives you this form of trusted provenance for your AI model. What I'm excited to announce today, and I think this is so important because as we think about the EU Act and how it's going to be instrumented, just keep this.
And right now he's got the HuggingFace logo right on the presentation.
It's critical to ensuring that there are safe ways for everyone to get involved to try to eliminate bias and make these types of algorithms far more robust. And HuggingFace is the space where this is happening right now. It's the home of all really good open source AI. It begins there. And so what we've been able to do is take an enterprise grade tool that we built and we instrumented it to actually get to be here, directly on HuggingFace, native integration as of this morning. And so that means that as this now huge surge of people that are creating AI algorithms, we'll be at the point in which there's a groundswell in which you don't have to give up the integrity of your work, and you don't have to trust even a platform to do it, but instead you can have these cryptographic primitives that we've all been talking about to go and train your AI. And there it is, directly in HuggingFace, and I'm very proud to say that we've been working with our friends at Hedera to natively integrate their technology directly into that.
Let's
so what
go.
you see there is that we've anchored the integrity of what we've done with the training of the model right there on an HCS transaction, which is the Hedera consensus service. And so that means that the record of the AI.
And right now he's showing hash scan. Right now, it's just a transaction on hash scan verifying decisions from an AI on HuggingFace.
And it's governed by some of the world's largest companies to ensure that the integrity of that ledger will persist. That's the type of trust that you're able to get with a system like the Hedera consensus service. And in our case, that's one of the anchors that we're using in order to create trust in AI. So we're very proud of this because what we believe is that it will allow for a groundswell of easy ways to prove exactly how you trained your AI model. And by doing that, we have a fighting chance to understanding the bias, we have an understanding of how to...
So that's really the big thing there is, this is huge. And again, it's huge because it's HuggingFace, right? And HuggingFace is, again, as Jonathan said, is the epicenter of, AI and open source AI development. So having native integration, it looks like the president of Hedera just reposted something from DaVinci Graph, which is great. Just again, on the topic of meme coins, good to see that engagement. I think Shane for the CEO of the HBAR Foundation got burned a little bit on a tweet recently, but just to wrap up on the AI stuff, that's really it. You know what I mean? It's pretty big. And there's a video also too. It's got no audio, but EQTY Lab posted it to their Twitter. And I'll just kind of also display it here for anyone watching the video version. But basically, this is the way that AI will be leveraged for stuff like, the medical field, or different applications that require that data provenance, that require that trust to actually know exactly how the model was trained, the decisions that it came up, that it came up to, and all those different things. Like, this is huge. And it's crazy to know that it's running on Hedera and it's natively integrated right now. So I think that is, some big AI alpha in my opinion. And another way I think that people are going to discover Hedera, very interestingly. And like I said too, it's like, it's in Hedera's blood, right? Co-founders, Lehman and Mance, come from that machine learning, come from that AI background. And I think that, when we look at it from that perspective too, it's going to be very interesting to see, like, obviously this isn't going to be the only AI use case on Hedera, but it's going to be the beginning of something, I think. So